Space, the final frontier. This is a review show for Star Trek The Next Generation. Its continuing mission to explore interesting plot points, to seek out goofs and continuity errors, to boldly go where no other TNG review show has gone before. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's the TNG review show. Whoop, whoop. Sean's going berserk around the bridge there.
We're walking in the air.
Welcome back, Sean. Welcome back.
It's a little bit too early for the
sky.
toy show is until Friday, so
Yeah, good evening.
What the toy show is, there's a chat show in Ireland, and they have a big once a year. They stop the chat show just to show toys, and that's when Christmas starts.
Oh, is that a thing? Is it?
It's the biggest rated show on Irish television every single year.
Ah, I see.
So you imagine just stopping Graham Norton, and then they just show toys for 3 hours.
Right. Okay.
Basically, what it is, it's brilliant.
Fair enough. Cool. Well, welcome back, Sean. First of all, from your week off last week, how's your couple of weeks been?
Yeah, perfect. Thanks very much. Sorry, I got stuck into. My dad volunteered me to do a raffle for a production of Calendar Girls, so I was stuck doing that all week. So anyway, we're done with that now. We're back to business as usual.
You're done. Massimo Bob, how are you? How are you this evening? How's your week going?
I am very good. Yes, my week is going pretty good. Might have secured another 12-month contract with another client starting in the new year. So that's always good for the old coffers.
Yep, congratulations. That's good news. Good news indeed. And Tavikin's turn. I see that your visual's still coming from the Alpha timeline, but your audio's coming from the Kelvin timeline, so you're split in two.
It's a bit like that episode Threshold.
Only
without the Vidians.
Anyway,
without them, yeah.
How are you? How are you, Tabikins?
I'm doing good tonight. Ready for the show. We got a higher percentage of data in this episode, so I was able to stay awake.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of data picks for you to gush over. Yeah. Yeah, plenty of that coming up.
I need double D.
Double D.
Oh, wait till next week.
And I need the other D. Yeah.
You need all the D's.
Wait till next week, Javi.
Yeah.
Data gets a kiss in the torpedo bay.
Wow.
I know.
I'm not sure we can cope with that.
No, you guys, y'all just.
The stream might explode.
Sorry, spoilers.
Yeah. First of all, just a little bit of admin. I did get a message just before coming on air from my energy provider to say there are power cuts in the area. So if we suddenly disappear, it's because I'm suddenly sat in a completely black room.
You need to get a, uninterrupted power supply, like a bit of a generator on there.
Yeah.
Just for Wednesday nights.
Yeah. So he needs a Starlink satellite, €100 a month, big house battery, about $5,000 a month, $5,000, or no, $5,000 or $6,000 to buy it.
Yeah, I
definitely worth it.
All those things. So just to let you know that might happen. Good evening to chat. Good evening to live chat. How are you all, you lovely people out there? Good evening, Ruth. I hope you are well. Smiler Rainbow. Oh, you're on already. Probably in a cold car park somewhere. I will say, Smiler, I have put the heating on. It's only I think the second time this year I've put the heating on. So when you get home, it will be nice and warm. So I'm splashing out. Good evening, Andrew. Good evening to you, sir. I hope you're not working yourself too hard. The beard is in chat. Good evening.
Yes.
Good, John.
The happiness.
I just see G-Star. Good evening, Mr. G-Star. I will give a quick plug, seeing G-Star in chat, for the Monty Zone this Friday, if you're around. If you're bored of the football and you're thinking, I don't want to watch England, I'd rather join G and Monty to talk about ancient apocalypses. That's what we're talking about this Friday. We're going a deep dive into Graham Hancock's latest Netflix series, Ancient Apocalypse, going through some of the interesting facts that they've uncovered and some of the more controversial points that they brought up. So if you like ancient apocalypse conspiracy theories and that sort of thing, and ancient technology, then join us on Friday at 8:00. For that, we had to choose the time in the month when England's playing. I mean, that's a bit of bad luck. That is.
But they're not playing at 8 in the evening though. They're playing at 1 or 3 in the day.
No, it's 7 till 9.
Oh, really? That late?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So all the games are in the afternoon. My mistake.
But look, on the bright side, you can watch the game and we'll still probably be on. So, have a few beers and then. If we're thrashing the opposition or if we're losing, just come and talk to us instead,
Well, I don't follow much of the old soccer, but I do know that there has been some unusual results, so we'll see.
Yeah, there has today. There's a big one.
Could it be to do with the Mayan calendar? Who knows?
Who knows?
Friday night.
But whoever thought Japan would beat Germany in the World Cup? I mean, that's just cray. Anyway.
Loved it. The upset.
Yeah.
When they beat South Africa in the rugby, that really surprised me. Like the idea that Japan has a rugby team in the first place is a bit ridiculous, but they somehow did it.
Yeah. Yes. So there you go, G. And there's a real and fake. There's going to be a real and fake game on Friday. The ever popular. We gave it a rest at the last Monty Zone, but we've had calls to bring it back. So we have got real or fake. And I think we've got a guest star coming along as well on Friday as well. So, yes, plugged away. But tonight, we're here to talk about Star Trek The Next Generation. And
we've also got Guy in chat, by the way, first time watcher. Hi,
Guy. Guy Harvey. Hi, welcome on board, sir. You're always welcome. And Wookie, if you're out there.
Your name?
Wookie, if you're out there. Good evening to you, Wookie.
Yeah.
Guy is his name, yeah.
Oh, I thought he was making a reference to Naruto. Okay, because this is an anime.
Name. No, he's a colleague of mine. I told him I'd
awesome.
do a live Star Trek show. He thought I was joking, so I sent him the link just to prove.
Well, there you go.
I don't joke about Star Trek.
No, this is serious. This is serious stuff.
And Mickey's there. Hi, Mickey.
Yep. Good evening, sir.
Hi, Mickey.
Right, yes, so we're talking about The Mind's Eye. Production number 40274-198. It first aired on the 27th of May 1991. Let me just make sure I have got chat open. I'm like, yes, I have. It's the 97th episode of Star Trek The Next Generation to be both produced and released. The teleplay was by Rene Echeverria, and this was his third writing credit. We have talked about him a little bit before. His third of 18. He was a big writer of Deep Space Nine as well, and series producer of Deep Space Nine. And the story was written by him and Ken Schaefer, who was a one-and-done writer. This was his only writing credit. It was directed by David Livingstone. This is his first of two, the second one being Power Play. But he did direct 17 Deep Space Nine episodes. So
He has the record for the most episodes of Star Trek in general. He's got 62 episodes under his belt across.
that's a lot.
Up to Enterprise, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
more than Frakes, more than anybody.
Yes.
Wow.
Not many TNGs, just the two.
No, yeah, it's more Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and I said on to Enterprise.
This is a pretty good first outing for him, though, I have to say. That's probably
Yeah,
why he
well,
got the rest of the gigs.
Yeah, you start with a good script and it's hard to go wrong.
Who wants to see the trailer?
Me, please.
Meet me, please.
Once again, still, there's no Trek Core. There's no Trek Core YouTube channel. So still don't know what's going on there. If anybody can find out and let me know in chat or in comments, then please go for it. I think Sean just leapt off his chair. Oh, there you go. Yeah, if anybody can find out and let me know, that'd be great, because I really do want to know. But here we go. Share screen. You guys co-hosting probably won't be able to hear this, but here we go anyway.
Romulan target, Geordi La Forge.
He has no choice but to see what I wish him to see.
They're programming him to sabotage the Federation.
Do not attempt to leave orbit.
You speak as if we are enemies and not allies.
And brainwashing him into a ruthless assassin.
The data, we have a known spy on board.
I want you to kill him.
Mind control on Star Trek The Next Generation.
It's a pretty epic trailer this week.
Hear it.
Oh, you could?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That is good news. Yeah, I think it's a pretty epic trailer for this one, to be honest. Espionage, brainwashing, assassins, Klingons. It's got it all, isn't it, really?
More than 10% data.
More than 10% data. Did you time it, the amount of data?
I did. It is 10 minutes and 31 seconds, roughly.
What was it last week? It was about four. Was it 4 minutes or something?
It's a little over 4 minutes.
Yeah. So yeah, over twice as much data this week. So
I know.
look at your face. You're so happy about it as well. She's so
I
happy.
am. I'm just glowing right now. This episode pleased me. I am pleased.
Right, the first picture.
I hope you have enough screenshots of data, like from every one of his appearances, because he's got some beautiful schnoz going on in these.
I don't know. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Right, let's get the picture up on the. There we go. Oh no, I've done it wrong. Hang on. I had to do it like that. There we go. Okay. So, here we go. The teaser. Geordi La Forge is en route to Risa to attend an artificial intelligence seminar and has been ordered by the Captain Picard to go early so he can have some time to relax. In the shuttle, Geordi is relaxing with some music and playing a quiz game with the computer. But question number 1. Oh, yes, we're going straight into a question. But I'm starting you off easy this week. As he's answering the questions, what type of Romulan ship decloaks in front of the shuttle pod? Is it A, a Romulan bird of prey? Is it B, a Derridax warbird? Is it C, a Valdor warbird? Or is it D, a scimitar warbird? So, what type of ship?
While you're answering that, I just point out that glass he's using is the first time we see the 24th century United Federation of Planets symbol on a glass.
Correct.
That's a deep dive. Yeah, you see some in the films, but that's an earlier era design.
So this glass is first seen in Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock.
Oh, is it? Sorry.
Yeah, it's behind the captain of the Excelsior when he gets called to the bridge because someone's stealing the Enterprise. You know?
Oh, I stand corrected on that. Fair enough.
And that's why they've all got the film era Federation logo on it, because they were they were made from for the films. But as you say, this is the very first time we see that glass with a TNG era Federation logo on it. Yeah. So you are absolutely correct.
Although I do think it's kind of odd it's the Federation of Planets and not Starfleet, that you would have on the ship. Yeah, my understanding, you go on a military ship, they would have everything in relation to, the Navy or what have you. Not the country the Navy is from.
Yeah, there is a bit. So here it is.
Slightly anachronistic. Yeah.
There is the glass behind the Excelsior captain on the shelf with the old logo. And here it is again in Allegiances, again with the old logo. But as you say, this is the very first time we see it with a TNG era Federation logo on it.
Yeah, and as we see in Discovery, the number of stars changes depending on the planets that are in the United Federation. So in theory, you should see changes all along. In reality, you don't. But you think every time you gain or lose one, it should change.
I've just seen from Andrew, because we've had these ships in a question before, and I've got the pronunciation wrong again, apparently. So I do apologise.
Did you say Derridex?
I did.
I thought it was Derrido, but that would be EUX.
Can you spell it out phonetically?
I don't know. Yeah, if you're asking Andrew, maybe you can.
It's the Derridex.
The Derridex. Because of the double D.
Right.
The Derridex, and I just said Derridex. The Derridex.
Do.
God damn it.
Do.
One day, I will get it right. One day.
Do. The Derridex.
The Derridex. Yeah.
So we're done with that.
It's just a good job Dan's not in chat, because he'll be telling me that I haven't given out the right answer yet because I just didn't say it right.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm going with the crowd on this one, but I was confused. But okay. I thought it was another one.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, but go ahead.
Okay. So Geordi finally notices the warbird in front of his ship and tries to raise shields and notify the Enterprise, but to no avail. His shields get overrun and the Forge gets beamed on board the Romulan ship.
I understand you would try, but yeah, you're not beating beating the Derridex in the shuttle.
No, it's like he's on a bicycle.
Not even like 200 of them.
Shields up, red alert, or should it be brown alert?
Yeah, he's on a space bicycle. It's like.
Yeah, and there's an 18-wheeler, and there's an 18-wheeler coming against him. It's not going to end pretty.
No.
I don't think I'd like to be in deep space in a shuttle for, I don't know, hours on end, where if I go like that, I can touch each end of the ship.
Yeah,
You know?
I know, right? Because when he said 3 hours, he couldn't even stretch out. I'm like, oh, okay.
And not even like a spacesuit ready to go. If you get a whole environment gone, I know there's I know there's force fields and stuff, but I wouldn't be that trusting.
You don't want to lean against these doors, do you? Just in case.
No, in case you hit the emergency exit and went out into space.
And I trust you because you're engineering.
There was a Darwin Award winner once who said, "Oh, you know the way they build these skyscrapers? These windows are shatterproof. Look." And this lawyer ran in with his shoulder, and he's right. The glass didn't break, but it did pop out of the frame, and he went with it.
Oh.
And he won a Darwin Award for that.
Oh no.
Oh, also talking about the space. Sorry, just before you go on, there's only one chair in that space.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was wondering if Maz was going to bring that up as a goof in this scene.
No, I didn't pick up on it.
Yeah, the shell pod always has 2 chairs, but it even has 2 chairs when Data looks in it later on.
I'm guessing the way that like he wants to be facing the camera and everything, they couldn't get the right shot with 2 chairs in the way.
They couldn't have him swing around and do these things with 2 chairs. No, it'd be...
The chairs wouldn't swing. You had to come in the side door, so it just wouldn't have worked.
Mm.
And you can see it's off center to the right, so there should be a second one, but just obviously they wouldn't rotate.
They probably filmed the later scenes first, and then when they got round to filming this scene, even though it's at the beginning, thought, "Oh crap, we're gonna have to take one chair out." But I can't be bothered to go back and film it now. So.
Well, the secondary unit stuff was generally the smaller scenes with fewer actors, and first unit was the bigger scenes with more actors. So he's on his own in this scene, so it would make sense they do it as a pickup. Instead of having a huge crew all standing around, they just have one sound guy, one lighting guy, one director, one set, the very minimal crew, and just get it done quickly.
So yeah, that was the end of the teaser. Was there anything else, Mazim, Bob, that you wanted to bring up?
It was just more around the, Inception, I guess. That music at the beginning was Beethoven, in case anyone's interested. And this whole sort of concept apparently was based on the Manchurian Candidate. It was a classic film, and David Livingston, this is his directorial debut, was actually a huge fan of that film. So he kind of got a real kick out of doing a story that was based on the same, and also that the title was potentially derived from a line from Hamlet, which was, "A mote is to trouble the mind's eye." Oh, a mote it is to trouble the mind's eye.
Very cool.
And just a small thing. Well, Beethoven is obviously German, so is LeVar Burton. He was born on a military base, so he's actually got German citizenship.
Oh, is he?
Oh,
cool.
Rammstein?
What's the next picture then? Can
I can find out for you where.
Savannah, there's a D-pic for you. I know you've been anchoring.
Thank you.
You've been anchoring for a D-pic, so there's one.
I need a D-pic of some sort.
He was
it's not quite the one you were looking for, is it?
This one will do, but the other one is, I put D-pic or D-pic,
Yeah.
He was born in Landstuhl.
Landstuhl.
Okay.
Landstuhl.
Is that
the
name of the name?
Kaiserslautern district of Rheinland-Palatinate. Yeah, I'm not saying that right. Rhineland-Palatinate.
Cool.
Yeah.
You got to say it angrier. Be angrier.
Rhineland-Palatinate.
There we go. That sounds much more genuine.
Well, I lived in Germany for a year or something. I should know this stuff. I got Landstuhl right, anyway. Sorry.
Okay, question 1. What Romulan ship decloaked in front of Geordi's shuttle pod? Was it a bird of prey, a Deridex, a Deridex, Valdor, or a scimitar? And hopefully, most people put B, Deridex.
I think you're covered in bees.
I'm covered in bees.
For me, I had no clue. I literally just put it because I remembered that we had mentioned the Dideridex before. It was the only one that I recognized, so that's why I guessed it, but I had no clue.
What's a
And
Valdor?
then everybody else put bees, and I was like, yay!
Sorry? A Valdor?
Yeah.
A Valdor is... You remember the scimitar?
Mm-hmm.
Was flanked by the Dideridex's replacement, these like bigger, longer, sleeker looking warbirds.
They had big kind of sweeping wings, was it?
Big sweep. Yeah, that was the Valdor warbirds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there you go. Right, Act 1.
Right, yes. Yeah, they were more, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, they're smaller than the Daradexes. They're more like fighters. Okay, cool.
Yeah, okay, so the Enterprise D here is escorting a special emissary from the Klingon High Council to the Kryosian system, where one of the colonies is fighting for independence. In the ready room, Picard asks what this situation has to do with the Federation, and the Klingon emissary tells him that Vach, the governor of Kryos, has accused the Federation of providing aid and weapons to the Kryosian rebels. The special emissary especially asked for Picard, as his name is respected among the High Council. But question number 2, what is the name of this special emissary? We see here, is it A, Core, B, Cord, C, Cal, or D, Chapok? I will put that for you in chat.
It's an interesting forehead piece he has. Maybe it looks even too big for his actual forehead, but normally it's a bit more of a line, but yeah, it works.
He gives good
It looks
head.
like a turtle shell. A turtle shell.
Yeah. Oh, good
He's
evening,
got an
Dan
impressive
from
head.
Subspace Chat. What was question 1? Question 1 was earlier in this episode, a Romulan warbird decloaked outside of Geordi's shuttle pod. But what kind of warbird was it? Was it a Romulan bird of prey? Was it a Dideridex? I can't say that right. A Valdor or a scimitar? So that was question 1. And good evening, Supreme Panko.
You know what's going to happen now.
Everybody,
Hank!
yeah, let's say women.
Hanko!
Here's a clap for you guys that have just joined. There you go. Have a cheer. Yeah, so what's this guy called? Is he Core, Cord, Cal, or Chapok? A, B, C, or D? That's your second question. And, I've got to make sure I'm on the right tab, because else it goes into the wrong browser. There we go. Picard doesn't believe that the Federation would risk its relationship with the Klingons in this way and tells the emissary he will put his head of security and tactical officer, Lieutenant Commander Worf, on the job. The emissary objects because of Worf's discommendation, but Picard insists, so he backs down. The closest answer is B. I knew he'd have trouble with that answer. I said it, even though you weren't here. I said it.
The Deridex.
The Deridex, yeah. Back on the warbird, Geordi is strapped to a chair, and a replacement Geordi continues his journey to Risa so that he is not missed. They remove his visor, hook up his ocular implants to a machine that forcibly shows Geordi whatever they want. They show him images of torture and suffering, all sorts of horrible things. And the officer controlling the machine explains to a shadowy commander how the images will affect his mind and leave him open to suggestion.
Yeah, I a bit of clunky exposition there. You know, they wait, like the commander was just there on the ship waiting for hours or days, and then they just put him in the machine, and then they explain what they're going to do. Like, they didn't have approval ahead of time.
Yeah.
Could have been written better.
It was a thing to introduce the shadowy, mysterious Romulan commander, wasn't it?
You could have had the same thing as saying, okay, I've interfaced successfully, I'm now showing him the images, instead of explaining it like she doesn't know. It's it just, there was a better way of doing it. It's very clunky.
Well, I got a nerdy, fun, fully functional factoid about this brainwashing. The
Ooh.
term, since this was given out in the 90s, the term that he's used is outdated. The galvanic response is actually now the electrodermal response, and it describes how our skins conduct electricity via the sweat, water in our sweat, and the electrolytes that are emitted from it. So we do give off a charge. So the matrix is real.
But it doesn't really make sense that they'd be going in through the skin, given they're interfacing with his ocular implant.
I know, or yeah, I guess they were.
So, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Not really good science on their part.
No, it actually was, because in that time they were using this galvanic response to actually gauge and measure your psychological I
understand that, but that's not what they're plugged into. They're plugged into his implants.
I know.
They're not touching his skin, they're touching his implants, so it's not.
You don't know what they're doing with his hands.
Yeah, well, true.
You never know. Yeah. I see. Dan says the latter three answers should contain the word class or type. Yeah, I did say in the question what type of Romulan ship, but I didn't put it in the answer. Okay.
I was just gonna say, nice set, nice reuse of the Romulan. I know they would reuse it anyway, but it's very consistent, which I appreciate. The Romulan look.
The Romulan. They show him images. Oh yeah, of course. I just said that. I just said all that. The person in the shadowy, in the shadows. The person in the shadows questions how effective these techniques are, but Tyback tells her that they will set up tests both before they release him on board their ship and also when he returns to the Enterprise to test how his conditioning has taken. I'm now going to go back and do the answers to question 2, even though I haven't got to the end of the act yet, because this is a bit of a long act. So,
I was just going to say that isn't Denise Crosby, that's a stand-in.
Yes.
But a stand-in who clearly has black hair. Also, yeah, that grid behind it, those freezer spacers, when you're putting things in a freezer so they're not on the ground, they're like a little pallet. Yeah. You can see those quite a lot if you know where to look. And I'm sure that plasma ball was rented from, what's that place called?
Future Props.
That's the place. I'd imagine it's from there.
Yeah, probably. They do use a lot of those future props things, especially with Romulan ships, actually. There's quite often in the corridors and things you find some future prop things. Yeah, so question 2.
I was going to say they do have plasma-based weapons, so having a plasma ball makes more sense to them than it would in any other ship.
I guess, yeah.
Because they have technology based on that kind of thing.
Plasma. Question 2 then. What was the name of the special emissary? Was it Core, Cord, Cal, or Chapok? Did anybody say Cord? B?
Everybody said C.
Yeah, I didn't follow anyone there. It was indeed C, Cal. So well done, everyone. Wow.
Although Mickey didn't answer, I don't think.
They know their stuff tonight, don't they?
We had a missing answer from Mickey. Everybody else said C. And the guy who played him, apparently, Larry Dobkin, directed...
Larry Dobkin.
The original series first episode, Charlie X.
Oh, right. Oh, wow.
That's quite an interesting little tidbit.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Question from Dan. Do we have a favourite style of Romulan ship? Do you guys?
I mean, well, the original Bird of Prey is a classic, and it's a beautiful ship. But I suppose the Deredex has got great curves and ample nacelles. Scimitar, meh. Yeah, would have to be between the Deredex and the original series Bird of Prey. It'd have to be somewhere in there. They're both really, really good ships. I'd probably lean towards the Deredex. It's just got more curves, more swoopy.
You like curves, yeah.
Same. I fell in love with the
Deredex.
The one you can't pronounce.
The Deredex.
I have it. I have it on my shelf up there somewhere behind the on-air sign, because it's one of my favourite ships in
And if
sci-fi.
I recall, in the TNG bridge set, it is the one that's in the
picture of the view screen, yes.
That you can light up with a bulb, yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I don't know if I... Look at this for continuity.
Nice.
There you go.
There you go.
Just turn it to the side so you can see how big the space of the bulb is. Because it was the 90s.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you turn the light on and you'd barely notice the difference.
It's true. The light is really kind of... It just kind of lights up the middle of the screen a little bit.
Yeah,
but when you press red alert at Worf's console, it does light up the little red sign, which is pretty cool. When you get a red alert noise.
Oh,
Anyway.
Tabby likes to look at the toys, right?
Yeah. We love a bit of the toys.
And regarding the woman in the shadows there, yeah, it was a different stand-in, somebody called D. Giffen Scott, apparently. But also because they dubbed in Denise Crosby's voice afterwards, the audio sync is really poor.
Yeah, it doesn't even look like she's moving her mouth.
But it's like, yeah, it's all a bit chaotic.
Especially in HD, when you can actually sort of kind of make out the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you were seeing on a little 16-inch telly in standard definition with all the blur and lines through a tape, you wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah.
Yes, Dan. You know all the cool people. Don't make us jealous.
What's that?
Oh, yeah. Heritzar. The barge.
The barge.
That is my favorite ship in Star Trek. Bar none.
They did have that...
I want one. I want one so bad.
They did have that kind of one that looked like a pistol. Do you remember they had the prototype, the holographic ship or whatever? That they could pretend to be other ships in Enterprise. That I wasn't too crazy on that. I wasn't a great design. It doesn't really fit with anything else that the Romulans did.
I quite like this design on the side of it. It looks pretty cool.
I love it that ship, it's 105 or 115 meters long, and it is a single pilot ship. That is sweet.
I like the I like the shuttle bay at the back. That's a nice detail. And as I said, I wouldn't call it Aztecing because it's not really an Aztec design, but you know, the embroidery or what you want to call it, the stenciling is pretty
patterning,
good. Yeah, patterning, that's
it. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah.
But they normally call it Aztecing, but that's reference to Federation ships.
Yes.
The design kind of looks Aztec, yeah.
Yeah, it's that kind of different shades of white pattern on the on the surface. So where you got like matte and not quite matte. Okay. I didn't know what that was, so I just had to quickly search it out.
Sorry, completely off on a tangent, completely unlike me. But the other day we were talking about the new Dauntless in Prodigy. I was talking about on Twitter, and I said, "Oh yeah, well the bridges must be the same, so it must be the same size." And the old one was 7 decks. And someone replied to me and he goes, "No, that's definitely not right, and it's not in the scale." But I was like, "But the bridge matches, so it has to be right." And then I realized I was talking to Aaron Whitkey, who actually writes on the show. It was only after I was trying to correct him I realized who I was talking to. I was like, "Yeah, just forget what I said. Yeah, I'm sure you know better than I do."
Scratch all of that. Please.
Scratch that.
So, yeah, be careful who you're talking to on Twitter because they may write on the show.
Yeah. Right, carrying on with Act 2 then. Cal and Worf are examining a pair of attacks that occurred to neutral freighters, one Ferengi and one Cardassian. Both attacks occurred near the Icalian asteroid belt, a likely area where the rebel fighters are hiding. Cal speculates the asteroids are shielding the rebels from their sensors. Worf points out that while the freighters are easy targets for the rebels, it would be foolish to challenge Federation starships. Cal obviously retorts that, especially since you're the one providing the weapons. But Worf is not happy with that assertion, suggesting that, are you dare challenging Picard's word? He doesn't like the fact that his honor is being challenged. Cal quickly, though, withdraws his statement and tells Worf that some of the High Council would thank him for killing Duras, as many stated that he would have headed the council and that was a prospect they were not looking forward to. So some validation for warfare. He points out that his actions were not political in nature, but personal. But Cal says that his motives aren't important. The fact is that on the day he acted like a true Klingon. Meanwhile, in 10 forward, the Romulans tell Geordi to kill Chief O'Brien. Which is no good.
I'm sorry, just look at their faces. They look like they're posing with ducky lips like models. It's very Zoolander to me.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
How does he fit into that little house?
That guy there, who plays whatever his face is, tie back or something.
Yeah, yes, it.
He's been in a bunch of different episodes. So he's been in several DS9 episodes and a load of Enterprise episodes.
Yeah,
and
it was
things like
it was like the main Suleiman guy, but he did play another Romulan in Inter Enum Silent Ledges, however you say it. Inter Arnhem Enum Silent Ledges. Is that how you say it? Where where DS9 is on the Voyager sets. He plays a completely different Romulan.
Right.
But you'd most recognize him because obviously the makeup is fairly identical.
I've also, that's not right.
Well,
Oh yeah, I'm looking at the wrong page. Sorry, no.
okay.
I was like, he can't play a Vulcan maiden. No, that was Dee's page I was looking at. But yeah, he was also, so tie back. That's this is the
Data
only one he did in
pictures
Next
are
Generation,
coming.
actually. Yeah.
They're coming. But at the moment...
Yeah, well, I have to look up the rest, but I did recognize him because obviously he played a Romulan in DS9, so it was fairly easy to match him. Sorry.
Geordi at first struggles with the command to, murder O'Brien, but after some additional codes being submitted through his visor, that's what it looks like. Geordi shoots O'Brien square in the chest, center mass, and kills him. It's quite good with the effect. I quite like how when it hits his chest, his back glows as well, because you see the phaser beam goes straight through him.
It must be one hell of a uniform because it doesn't have a splat on it afterwards. So all I did was just clean it for him.
It's these uniforms are futuristic fibers. They can cope with anything.
Except for later in the episode when he gets a drink spilled on him, in which case he has to immediately change. But he can take a phaser class, just not a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's a lot like that clothing that the Hulk wears. Stretches and it.
That reminds me, I do have a glass of blood wine. I forgot to mention that earlier.
Portuguese.
I can't find my normal glass, so it's a Slim Jim of blood wine, but we'll do.
That'll do.
I got a Radler, non-alcoholic Radler.
Tieback tells him to go join his friends for a drink, so Geordi does, whilst O'Brien lays dead next to him. And they kind of drink and laugh and have fun.
Again, you hear somebody go, sure, but neither of these two guys
say anything.
Move.
Yeah.
Apparently there's something to do with the Actors Guild or something. If they have a speaking part, there's a whole bunch of other conditions that come into play. So by not having them speak but dubbing it over afterwards, it sort of avoids that.
They have a group of SAG actors called the Loop Group, and they fill in all of those things. As I said, because if you get someone talking who isn't a SAG member, then they you get in trouble if you do it too often. The union doesn't like you or something, so you have to go be careful, and you have to pay them a lot more money. So
you do.
It's just best to avoid it, and you have to pay them residuals, so they just avoid it.
Oh, you forgot. There is a fashion fully functional factoid in the last photo you had up. Once again, it is the rarely seen engineering suit that they put on Lore when they put them up, and you see a few episodes where they've actually used it when they're in the Jeffrey tubes. But that's the engineering.
The Lore
suit. Yeah, they change into it to go into the Jeffrey's tubes, which presumably they change out of it again. But this guy is just off duty, just drinking in it. So who knows?
Comfy.
They rarely seen, but I swear that's about the 5th or 6th time I've seen it.
Yeah, it's like every other episode this season, isn't it?
Yeah. It's probably because we said it, and it's like, you know what? Let's use this more.
It's like when you hear a new word you've never heard before, and then you hear it 5 times in the same week. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
So that was the end of whatever act we were on, 1.
There's a few things I forgot to say earlier. So, you know, at the beginning with the shuttlecraft. and
Shuttle
then
pod. Yep.
Sorry, the shuttle pod, and then the Romulans turn up. And then the computer says the shields have failed. But why?
They did some mysterious shield tampering field thing. I don't know, because they didn't
It was
fire
a
on the ship. Really.
mystery.
I can imagine they could, you know, it's only a shuttle. They can just hit it with any sort of old thing.
I think it's with the
radiation.
tractor beam. They hit it with the tractor beam, and it kind of disabled the shields, I think.
I doubted they wanted to shoot. Well, they couldn't shoot the shuttle because there couldn't be any damage on it, and also, you know, they didn't want to destroy it. That would kind of be. Yeah, they couldn't have any damage, so they must have had some sort of tech to just suck the power out of it or some such thing.
Yeah, well, a Federation shield-sucking technology of the Romulans has never been seen since, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but it's
No.
only
Well, I mean, it's a shuttle.
it's only a little
It's a
shuttle.
bicycle.
You know, it's not particularly difficult to do it. You know, you
It's
wouldn't
just like
scale up to a
driving a
starship,
car.
but yeah, some sort of subspace dampening field.
Yeah. Anyway, onwards to Act 2. Motoring along. It's a bit of a wordy one this week, I have to say. I did leave a D pick up here whilst we were chatting between acts.
Big fan of the D pick.
Obviously, the planet has been redone for HD and Blu-ray. It's, a nice purple one this week.
Krios, they've shown Krios before, right, in a previous episode, and it used to be green.
Oh, did
Now
it?
it's bluey purple,
Purple,
now.
yeah.
I believe so.
Well, you could explain that by saying if they were looking at, say, the southern and northern hemisphere, because that could be a southern and northern hemisphere. It could just be the season they're in, so it could be
Yeah,
the
it
same
was in the
planet.
perfect mate.
Because
apparently.
if you looked at
wonder-
one half of our planet, it would change from season, you know, from green to
Did it
brown,
have
or
that?
you know, or to white, depending on what part of the hemisphere you're on. But yeah, there's some confusion whether there's two different planets with the same name or not.
Oh.
That's what it used to look like in the standard definition. And obviously that's what it looks like now.
Yeah, much more pretty. Although they didn't use the remaster it to show, like the 6-foot model to show 10 forward is the only thing.
Krios supplies... oh, yeah. Okay.
A different planet Krios isn't it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Devil's Genie. Yeah.
Reuse the Schizoid Man. Good episode. One of the shepherds is in it.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
dead episode.
I'm sorry, guys. Data is coming. Honest engines. Data is coming. So the Enterprise has arrived at Krios, and Picard is awaiting his first meeting with the governor. And next picture. Is it going to be? Oh, look who it is.
Oh my God! Look how delicious he is. Jesus. Can you hold on? I gotta full screen this. I'm saying bye everybody in chat. This doesn't happen enough. Oh, thank you, Lord.
There you go.
Even Geordi has a wry smile. Look at him.
Yeah,
He's
look at
happy.
that shoulder spread.
He's happy to be back. Geordi arrives back from Risa, not remembering anything that happened on the Warbird. He's welcomed back by Data. Geordi tells him that as the Enterprise was diverted to Krios, he thought he might be stuck on Risa for another 2 weeks, leading Data to believe he didn't have a good time. But Geordi points out he was just joking. Data goes into breaking down how that joke worked. Surmised at the end that, oh yes, very funny. But question 3. Geordi took a trip in the shuttle pod, but what was its name? What was the name of the shuttle pod in this episode? Was it A, Elbaz, B, Onizuka, C, Pike, or D, Cochrane?
Don't tell him, Pike.
Don't tell him the shuttle pod's name, Pike.
Okay, I'm gonna go first this time. I usually lock it in and wait, but I'm gonna.
There you go. Put it in chat there. Elbaz, Onizuka, Pike, and Cochrane.
I'm just happy to finally get some D on the screen. Jesus.
Do you know Cochrane is a unit of measurement? Well, within the show, it's
Warp.
Yeah, it's the output of warp power, basically.
Yeah. The engines are so many Cochranes, aren't they?
Yeah, so similar to the leader capacity of an engine. A Cochrane will tell you roughly how fast it can go.
Oh, let's make sure this picture goes to
Although the
right
shuttles are milli
place.
Cochranes, but anyway.
There we go. Just as fast as he arrives, he's gone again.
Ooh, that is not Marina's best angle.
Oh. La Forge enters the bridge and gets brought up to speed by Picard and is introduced to emissary Cal. Picard tells him his expertise will be needed for this investigation. Counselor Troy escorts him back to his quarters, pointing out he must have had a good time because he's more relaxed than normal. But don't you think it's a bit weird that he comes on board with his, like, dirty washing and whatnot? The first thing he does is go to the bridge.
Yeah, also, in his left hand, he seems to have a engineering kit, which he was on holidays, so what was he doing with that? And I've never understood those kind of circular bags, what they're supposed to hold, because how do you fold clothes in them, and how do you fit any meaningful amount of garments in there? It doesn't make any sense.
Maybe you put, like, it's like...
you only need your underwear.
Maybe it just, like, takes the matter and, you know, like the recyclers... stores it as and then when you like go to pull it back out again, it kind of materializes as you.
I would imagine even in the future where there's limitless amount of energy, it would be more energy efficient to just replicate clothes where you go rather than travel with them. But
that's probably what he did.
To be fair, he wasn't just on shore leave. He was there for an expo and stuff, and he was there to work as well as shore leave. So it was a dual purpose.
He's got one of those hologram things of Dr. Brahms, like Data has of.
He just carries it around with him, yeah.
Yeah, but his is a bit creepy.
Strokes it at night and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the way down to his quarters, Troy keeps probing about how it went, and you know, Geordi's just talking about the great food and the books that he's read, and eventually admits he has met a girl called Jonik, but he tells her you won't be interested about that, and enters his quarters, leaving Troy wanting to know more. That is a cute bee.
By the way, G-Star earlier said if Monty agrees, we're going to go for a Christmas special on Friday, 16th of December. I want it to be a vault party and invite hosts from the TNG show to join us and celebrate the Vault 2022.
That might be a problem that day, actually.
Land Registry Christmas
party. It's the Land Registry Christmas party that day.
Yeah, which I'm also at.
Yeah, so that might be a bit tricky. But we'll discuss. Yeah. We'll discuss and get back to you on that one.
Yeah.
Right, still on the bridge, Krios calls to say that the Governor Vac is ready to receive them, so Picard and Cal head off to meet him. And do you know where we've seen this outfit before?
Star Trek 3 and 5, was it? Well, the gloves are probably reused more often than that.
Yeah, maybe not the gloves,
Star
but...
Trek, 4 and 6, I think.
4 and 6, yes.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Although, I really pity that poor actor, because this is shot in California, and he's basically wearing a wool blanket, and on top of that, he's obviously wearing the headpiece, so you can have no relief wearing that.
They have aircon, it'd be fine.
You don't want to be sitting in a refrigerated truck between takes in with the sandwiches, because that wouldn't be good. I wouldn't be tolerating that more than 10 or 15 minutes. It'd be so bad.
People would be like, why do the sandwiches smell? It smells sweaty.
It must be pretty claustrophobic in that, though, to be honest, with all that makeup on and the heavy clothes and stuff.
Well, there's an anecdote that Colomini says at conventions, that there's an episode, the one where they all dress as Klingons in Deep Space Nine. I forget the name of the episode, where they go to the hall that's not the Hall of Warriors, that's not the Great Hall, but it's the same set. And anyway, he has to dress as a Klingon for the episode, and he's complaining he couldn't move his eyebrows, and they had things, he couldn't move his hands, and he couldn't itch, and he couldn't scratch, and he's complaining all day. And basically, Michael Dorn just turns around and goes, "Yeah, I've had 10 years of this. Shut up."
Yeah, that's right. It was unimpressed.
He literally, 14, 16, 18-hour days with this stuff. He had like 3 days of it, and he was complaining and moaning like it was the worst thing in the world.
Look who we've got here.
Oh, here, look at that first schnoz.
And what's Riker doing?
And now Riker lean.
It's a Riker. Riker
And he-
maneuver leaning
full
onto
His foot is on that little touchpad to the side, so he could be pressing some buttons there.
He could be. He's also leaning on his chair as well. He's got the whole tripod thing going. Data detects a brief E-band energy fluctuation and informs Riker. Riker orders him to do a complete scan of the ship. They're going to determine to find out what that's all about. On Krios, Picard steadfastly defies Governor Vag's accusations. But he and Riker acknowledged that they made no effort to restrict their medical supplies, unlike their weapons. Vag.
Also,
Sorry.
no, I didn't realize I was interrupting you. I was just going to say, I like how Riker is leaning on something just out of shot.
Yeah.
They've obviously put something there for him, and in the next shot, the same.
He's still leaning.
Yeah. Love it.
Vag produces a phaser rifle taken from the Rebel stronghold that appears to be Federation standard issue. When asked where he got it, he says it was from the Rebels and he's got many more like it. And convinced Picard would like to study the rifle further and reminds Vag that the Federation has no interest in supplying arms to Rebels and that a third party must somehow be involved.
Well, if I was the Federation and I wanted to stir a rebellion and try and hide it, I would just purchase some from the Orions or, the Lesepians, anybody at all. I wouldn't just give them Federation ones. That would be silly.
Yeah. The governor points out that this colony is the only one on the border with the Federation and accuses Starfleet of wanting Krios to achieve independence to reduce the vulnerability of attack. When Picard tells Vag he speaks as if they are enemies, Vag tells Picard he speaks like a Takek. Picard comes back with some Klingon nasty words of his own, and eventually Kel intervenes before it turns to fisticuffs. Kel, Picard and Riker beam back to the Enterprise.
On Klingon. I mean, on the Klingon language. So earlier, Kel says to Picard, you're highly spoken of in the Klingon High Council. And Picard says, what does he say? Takalo? No. Cadlo. Cadlo. Do you know what Cadlo means?
No.
Cadlo. He says Cadlo. That means thank you, apparently. And here, Vag calls him a Takek. I tried to find out what that translates to. Could not find a
liar.
Translation. Oh, really?
Yeah, I looked it up.
Oh, I could not find the translation for it.
What was that first one? Cadlo? What was it?
Cadlo.
How do you spell that?
K''ADLO on screen, but
and it means
apparently in the Klingon dictionary somewhere it's like the L is an I, like Cadio instead of Cadlo. So I don't know if it was I don't know if it was misread or whatever, but yeah, Cadlo, Kadlo.
And what does it mean?
Cadlo.
Thank you.
Thank you. Apparently.
I wouldn't even think Klingons had the word for thank you.
Well, it might not mean literally thank you, but
how speciesist.
Well, it could.
Takek is liar. That's interesting.
Yeah.
It could be a direct translation of "Glory to your house" or something, or you walk with the gods.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily be as polite as "thank you." It could be something like "You're a fine warrior," but it just might, it means much the same thing.
Yeah.
Like for instance, in Irish, to say a thank you, you say "Gura Mahaguth," which is I wish goodness upon you, basically. That's basically what it means. We loosely translate it as thank you, but it's like I wish goodness upon you. It's completely different.
Yes.
And then he said Kavath, Guy Chewbacca.
Yeah, I didn't catch what he said, so I didn't write it down.
Well, apparently the literal translation is something like 100 tasks, damn it, and I can't get anything done, or something. It's some pronunciation of exasperation at like having lots to do and not being able to get anything done. But yeah, there you go.
Well, he carries it off quite well. He says it with conviction.
Yeah. And it's apparently swearing, but then some of the swears before have not come off well in that, like Patak translates as weirdo, but actually it's supposed to mean like, bastard or something a bit stronger than that.
Yeah.
But that's not its literal translation.
I like weirdo.
Meant, I think.
Yeah, well, B'Elanna, used to refer to, was it Maxwell as Patak, but I think she meant it more as idiot, or a mild swear, shall we say?
We've heard it used a lot, like "you Romulan Patak." Like you would think, like weirdo is a little bit mild, but yeah, I think it's the way it's said infers more of a swear than that. But yeah,
fair point.
I thought it was a pretty good shot though of them facing off here.
Actually, the way your man Krell is kind of smiling, he's enjoying the challenge.
And then we go from this good shot to this good shot. So we go to engineering. Actually, this screen cap doesn't quite do it justice, but we're in engineering. Geordi's going about his chief engineering role, ordering people about and stuff, until he clocks off and goes off to 10 forward. But we actually see like the whole 3 levels with people working on each level, from like the top level, middle level, and bottom level, which is pretty cool.
A rare and fantastic shot, but I will say the plastic or the spun fiberglass they make the core out of is quite evident in that shot in HD. It kind of gives it away a little bit. Looks great. Good. Looks great. Good. Looks great in a moving shot, but gives it away a tiny bit in that one.
Yeah.
Still love it though.
So yeah, he goes to 10 forward, does Geordi La Forge, and orders a glass of red Torian, and he proceeds to drink it. But he receives a signal for his visor, so he carries his drink and slowly approaches O'Brien, who's sitting working on a pad at a table, and accidentally spills the contents all over the chief.
Yep.
It's really
can't
kind of
laser blast, can't handle a pint. There you go.
It's really kind of creepy weird how he just kind of walks up behind him and just goes, "Pour."
Also,
gives me the real sinister heebie-jeebies.
Tavi, based on your experience, would an illicit person be allowed to have hair like a column there? It looks a bit unruly.
In the military?
Yeah.
Technically, yes, so long as it's within 3 inches of bulk.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So it's not like in his face. They would tell him to keep it off his ears, or smooth it around near the ears, so he'd have to fade it. But so long as it's 3 inches in bulk.
All right, fair point.
When Data tries Scottish lager, I hate this. It is revolting. I just remember when he tries like those drinks for the first time when he's got his chip.
More, please.
Please. Anyway, that was the end of Act 2.
It is great.
The question, the third question, and question 3 in Act 2 was Geordi took the ship and took a trip in the shuttle pod, but what was the name of the shuttle pod? Was it Elbaz, Azuka, Pike, or Cochrane? And it was B, Onizuku.
And I've got to say, Stuplum just said this was poor acting.
Poor acting? I don't know. I think it was kind of...
P-O-U-R acting.
Poor. Oh, God. Hang on.
There you go.
I'll give you a little bit.
Bad joke.
Yeah.
Funny.
There you did that, Stu. I am pleased. I'm very pleased.
B. Everybody answered B. We were once again literally covered in B's.
Covered in B's.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. About 10 people all on top points at the moment.
Yeah. Here we are in engineering. This is the beginning of Act 3 now, with Geordi and Data. They're testing the unknown phaser rifle right next to the warp core. Which
once
is
again,
exactly
next to the warp core.
You don't have a neutronium space inside the ship as a shooting gallery. No, just near to the warp core. Because if you just fall backwards, the whole ship explodes. It's fine.
Like literally, like the dilithium chamber is right behind Geordi's ass here. Is
That's what he's pressed up against.
I don't know.
But I just wanted to point out, it's actually a great shot to see this. In the TNG version of this, the corridor, like the narrow corridor, actually cuts through this room, and you can see obviously the plastic unit they use.
This unit here, yeah.
Yeah. So when they take that, they can take that out and rearrange it so that there's a corridor that cuts straight through that set, depending on what they're doing.
Yeah, they cover this back wall up with corridor, and they cover these panels up with.
Yeah, you actually see it in an earlier shot in this episode.
Say they use it in this actual episode.
But they change the background displays and turn the lights off, and they just use it a different way. So
yeah.
But I wouldn't say it's obvious, but it's easy to point out in this particular shot.
Yeah. Yes. So they're testing the data, the the rifle. They find that everything is okay, except the phaser rifle is a lot more efficient than a standard phaser rifle.
Data's got a nice shoe size. We already know he's got long fingers.
Well, I do know.
I knew this shot was going to get a reaction when I put it in. I thought that'll cause some screams. I knew it.
I mentioned this on a previous review, but when Garrett Wang was cast on Voyager, he got his shoes and he goes, "These are a little loose for the thing," and he looked inside and there was a tag on it that said Brent. That had actually given him Brent shoes. Yeah. So I know Garrett Wang, who's an Asian, so he must, most likely doesn't have big feet, is the same size as Brent Spiner, but I don't know what size it is.
Well, there you go. I think you mentioned that before, actually.
I did bring it up,
Yeah. So Data reports that it looks like the charge is with a forced pulse energy, and they discuss it, and they figure that whilst a number of races use that kind of power, the most likely culprit in this case is going to be Romulan.
I'm sorry, he is just so sexy in this photo. I'm just, Jesus.
I knew you were going to like that particular photo. Geordi reports this to Picard and the Klingons. Though Vach is still unconvinced whilst they are discussing it, Geordi receives some more orders via his visor. But question number 4. Later in this act, we see a Vulture-class attack cruiser. But which episode did we first see the Vulture ship? Was it A, Sins of the Father, B, Yesterday's Enterprise, C, Reunion, or D, this episode, The Mind's Eye? This is the first time we see it. So, when do we first see the Klingon Vulture-class battleship? Let me get that in chat. Dun, 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 dun.
Sorry for anybody whose ears are bleeding, but yes, oh my God, that was a photo.
Okay, Tavi asked for more dad jokes, so we'll have to go for it. Tavi, did I ever tell you about the time I took out a sheepdog to bring back 27 sheep?
No.
When I got back, there was 30. Turns out he rounded them up.
I love it.
Very good.
Oh, it was
oh no, wrong one. Not that one.
He rounded him up.
Did you just get that? It took a while.
No, I got it. No, I
took a
got
while.
it the whole time, but it was just so funny.
On the bridge.
And the Andorian said, "That's not my antenna."
Yeah.
Oh my.
Here we are on the bridge. Riker's leaning on multiple things. He's leaning on the side, the top, and the chair.
He's got his knee out on something, yeah.
Yeah. He's leaning on everything he can possibly think of leaning on. Data and Riker. Yeah. Data and Riker detect another E-band emission. It appears to have changed intensity and location, so it cannot be from a protostar. A protostar.
He would do well in that in that film with Kiefer Sutherland and Will Wheaton. What was it called again?
The what?
Stand
by Me.
Lean on. I don't think it was Lean on
Stand
Me.
by Me.
Stand by Me. Sorry,
Stand
that's fail on my part.
Me. Nobody knows. Yeah. So they've detected.
That was a fail on my part.
It was. They decided to track the signal by reconfiguring the primary sensor array to narrow its focus to E-band emissions. And maybe they'll be able to calculate its directional vector. Acting under the mind control again, La Forge configures... Oh, picture's gone to the wrong place. Hang on a sec. Here we go.
It's in the right place.
Yeah, there we go. There you go. La Forge configures a transporter using a new batch of isolinear chips and reroutes the power through the auxiliary replicator, then reroutes the transporter through the planetary sensor array. Once he's completed all these modifications, he beams the crate of weapons from the Enterprise to the surface and erases all records of the modifications. The situation escalates when the weapons in the crate were intercepted by the Klingons. Furiously, Vach contacts Picard and tells him to maintain his orbit until further notice. And he backs up that threat by sending a Vulture-class attack cruiser and 2 birds of prey that decloak in front of the Enterprise. And there you go.
Okay,
They're screwed.
I get Data can, La Forge can reconfigure the transporters, and Replicator is basically a transporter, and that all makes sense. But where did he get the big crate of, the big crate of rifles from? Like, there has to be some sort of quartermaster that has to give that out. You can't just go to a weapon. You can't just go to a weapons locker and get weapons. Even on a military base. Even on a military base in a place like America, it's hard. There's fewer guns than there are out in the streets, because when you go into the military base, they make you lock up your personal weapons. They're not around the same way. So that doesn't make any sense.
Yep, pretty much. Actually, I must say, when I was in a military base, this is what was pretty fun. We had an inspection of our dormitories. You were not allowed to keep the firearms or any whatnots in your room, but you were allowed to have weapons. And our commanders were sweating because they were hoping it wasn't going to be like a ridiculous amount of pornography and whatnot and other contraband that they were going to confiscate. But no, they were completely appalled, because they had an entire medieval armory in our dormitory. I had a flail, a crossbow. Somebody else had a ninja stars. It was ridiculous. They had an entire pile of weapons, because we were all like D&D and LARPers and whatnot. So they had all these weapons, and he was like, wow, I don't have to worry about our airmen not getting to the armory. Jesus Christ. Because every room had at least 2 types of weapons. It was like my guy at the time, he had a short sword and a broadsword in there. Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew pointed out this is a good shot, and it is a good shot. It's the way it's done as it pans around, and you see the birds of prey uncloaking next to the battleship. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool shot.
The Enterprise almost looks like an Excelsior in that shot.
I can't say that.
Looks tiny.
It's a reused shot from previous episode, which leads us on to the answer.
That counts one of the answers out.
Yeah.
I just realized I had it sitting in the chat and I never hit the button. I've done it now.
There you go. It's a reused shot from the first time we see it, which of course means the answer was indeed C for reunion.
I might have a tiny person up and about.
Oh. But yeah, what do we reckon then? Who votes for the Vulture class or the Dideridax? What's better? What's people's thoughts on Romulan or Klingon battleships?
Well, I think the Orion barge is tops. That's my answer.
Well, I remember reading back in probably the Star Trek magazine, and going back a bit now, when they had the alternate Through the Looking Glass universe Vulture class that Worf was on. The scale of the Defiant going up and down it would have to be about 3 miles long for it to make sense. So there's like a supersized one that they had in the alternate universe.
Sort of red dwarf sort of size.
yeah, exactly. Then that kind of, or else you're gonna get more of this.
That hurt my ears.
Like, what? Sorry, it was a quote.
Dan thinks the Klingon ships personally for him is a better one. Andrew goes with the Dideridax. Same as Tavi. Stu Plum's gone with Concorde. Yeah. For me, it's obviously, I said it earlier, the Warbird is my favorite, one of my favorite ships in sci-fi. So, yeah, love that one.
Yeah, well, it was originally supposed to be a Romulan ship, and then they just changed it. So, I mean, that's why you have Romulan birds of prey, and later on you've got Klingon birds of prey. I
think that was because of Star Trek 3. Now, I might be wrong on this, but I think the antagonists in Star Trek 3 was supposed to originally be Romulan. Correct. So they made a Warbird thinking it was, carrying on the TOS tradition of having Romulan birds of prey, but then they decided to have Klingons instead. So they made a Klingon bird of prey. Yeah.
Yeah, never explained it. And also the ship or the bridge was far too high tech and white and clean, and 2001: A Space Odyssey for the Klingons way too much, which is why when you came back in the next film, it was a completely different bridge with no explanation. They just went, it's always been like this.
I've got to catch up with Prodigy, Dan. I've got to work out how to watch it. Tell me this, Dan. Is this second, or I don't think it's the second series, is it? It's just the continuation of series 1. But
no, yeah, it's second half first season. Yeah.
Is it any good? What do you reckon?
Yeah, very decent. Yeah,
is it good?
There's only 40 episodes of it, and we're at episode 16 or so.
Right.
So I mean, it is written as kind of not as a standalone show, and that kids can get into it with no knowledge of Star Trek, which is its main point. It goes out Nickelodeon. But there is a lot of, good lore behind it as well. Oh, yeah, but it all stands up. Yeah,
I really liked what I've seen of it so far.
I mean, I prefer Lower Decks, but they're two very different shows, other than the fact about how animated.
I have to say, so far, from what I've seen, I think Prodigy is my favourite of all the new Star Trek shows. I think Prodigy is my favourite, personally. But, I mean, I've got to catch up with it, so...
Yeah, well, there's lots of, as I said, there's a lot of lip service, particularly to the Voyager era. Picard is our TNG show.
Yeah, but if you want lip service, I mean, look at Lower Decks. Lower Decks is literally nothing but lip service. It's just
it's fantastic. I love it.
It's just remember this thing from this episode. Remember this thing from this episode.
That's why I love it. It's brilliant.
Anyway, right, onwards at 4 then. I think we covered everything from the last act. I think.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, there he is. Data reports that the unauthorized transport was sent at 11:23 hours.
Those lips.
And then, with the situation looking grim, he's gone. He's gone now. Cal
what is
warns...
Geordi looking? What is Geordi looking at?
He's blind.
You can't tell with the visor, can you? He can control it. I don't know. With the situation looking grim, Cal warns Picard that Vach is fully prepared to open fire on the Enterprise, but that he will convince him not to do so without first consulting the High Council, which should buy them a few hours. Data, La Forge continue their investigation and find memory chips in the computer that were erased to hide the offender's identity. The power was routed through the replicator pathways to conceal its origin, which they determined was Cargo Bay 4.
Oh, Jesus.
I know.
You're doing me right tonight, Ron.
Yeah.
You're doing me right. I'm even having chest pains here at this. It's so good.
Second half of this episode is full of it for you, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah. So they investigate Cargo Bay, and Worf asks who could possibly pull this off. And Geordi replies that only, who could pull this off? Geordi replies that the only ones that were able to perform this feat was himself, O'Brien, Data, and Lieutenant Costa. Worf, following procedure, asks each of them where they were at the time. O'Brien was with Keiko in the Arboretum. Data was at Ops in the bridge. La Forge was alone in his quarters, and Costa was on duty in engineering with over 20 eyewitnesses.
It's a mystery.
Who could possibly be the culprits?
Well, this is it. It's like he asks them what their alibi is. La Forge doesn't have one.
He doesn't have one.
He goes, "Oh, well, it must be somebody else on the ship then." And it's like, what? Why did you just ask people their alibi if you're going to ignore the fact that only one of these people doesn't have one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Worf becomes frustrated.
Maybe he's the ship log.
Yeah.
Dan's keen for the next question.
Well, that's funny.
At 9:30.
Right. Well, we're at question 5.
Forfeit his chance to win.
Funnily enough.
6 questions, right?
Yeah. Well, this is second to last question. You might miss the last one, but don't worry. Question 5. Question 5 is a 2-parter, so double points are on offer.
Double point.
Data reported that the transport took place at what time? Was it A, 11:23, B, 11:24, C, 11:25, or D, 11:26? So when did Data report that the transport took place? And second part of this question, their investigation found the transporter came from what cargo bay? Was it cargo bay 1, 2, 3, or 4?
Okay,
A,
locked
B,
in.
C, or D? 1, 2, 3, or 4. So I want like a, 11:25 2 or, 11:26 1
Or a BD.
or BD or AC or whatever. Yes. So two answers for that one. Points for both parts. Oh, my picture
Okay,
just went.
locked in, but I'm not going to put it in yet.
Ditto.
That's she said.
They're waiting. You're waiting. See what happens.
I'm waiting.
No, I'm not changing it. I'm just letting someone else answer first.
Okay.
Ditto, yeah.
Geordi and Data.
I was all up in. Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
I was up in his mouth.
Okay. Geordi and Data debrief Picard and Ambassador Cal on their investigations in the ready room. Whilst they are talking, Geordi receives another E-band emission, which Riker instantly informs Data about over comms, which leads Data into explaining to both Picard and Cal what they have been tracking. As the commanders leave, Cal tells Picard that Vag, or whatever it's called, isn't known for his patience and time is running out. Picard asks the ambassador to tell the governor that they're doing everything possible and adds a warning that if necessary, he will defend his ship. Realizing that a fight is on the horizon between the Enterprise and the three Klingon ships, Cal quickly offers to beam down to Krios to force Vag to come aboard the Enterprise and personally witness the ongoing investigation to convince them of the Federation's innocence. Oh, you didn't get that last picture.
Did it have Data in it?
No, it just had Cal explaining that to Picard.
I mean, his outfit's nice, but I guess.
There we go. Before leaving, Cal enjoys a traditional Klingon feast in his quarters. When La Forge arrives, it turns out that Cal is the one conspiring with the Romulans, and that Cal's been implanting commands in La Forge's mind, including the command to transport the weapons to the Klingon rebels. Cal personally instructs La Forge to murder Governor Vag. When he arrives on the Enterprise from Krios, in front of many witnesses, and claim it's on behalf of Starfleet in support of the colony's independence. La Forge tells Cal he understands, and he leaves his quarters. It is the Klingon ambassador costume from Star Trek 4. John Stuck, that's the guy. Yes.
He's getting stuck in anyway.
He got stuck in.
I presume he must have taken taking his own food on board, because even of the right cup and everything, and Klingons don't eat replicated food. It has to be moving in theory. So
I guess he has his has his trunk of food. He carries around with him, a bit like Borat. But the answer to question 5 then, our two-parter. Has everybody got their answers in? Because I did rattle through that for Dan.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 6 answers.
Did the beard get an answer in?
He's been in and out. I know he's driving still.
Oh, is he? He's driving. Okay.
Ruth says maybe she's right and will take the crown. I'll be honest, Ruth, I didn't catch your answer to the last one. I went back and checked, but I didn't think you answered the last one.
She answered DD. Double D.
Yeah, I know. I mean the last question, not this one.
Oh, sorry. Yes, yes.
The beard. Hubbiness.
A and D. He got an answer in there. Well done.
Nice.
No, I think Ruth might have missed that last question. Never mind. Don't you worry about it. There's plenty of points out there. Yes. So the answer then to this question. She wasn't focused. No crown for her. Oh no, I feel bad now. So the answer is, the first part was 1123. So if anybody said A to begin with, you've got the first part right. And then the investigation found it came from what cargo bay? That was cargo bay 4. So you should have an A and a D. So hopefully lots of A's and D's.
Yep, quite a few.
Yeah, apart from Ruth, who went against the crowd. It was a bold move, Ruth. It was bold. We salute you for your boldness. Not boldness like me, boldness.
To be fair, it's a good question.
With top banana.
Have we got many tie breaks? Because is there a tie for the top spot?
Yeah, there's like 7 people all the top point.
We got one more question to go, and it's quite an easy one, I think. Okay, so on with Act 4 there, 5, sorry. Last act, we're on to the last act. How good. And...
Give it to me, Monty. You know what I want.
Geordi in bed, is that what you wanted? Is that it?
Position.
Is that what you wanted?
Why is he not wearing any covers? That's weird.
Because he's having a nightmare. But
yeah.
I said everybody's got top banana. Subspace says, is there a bottom banana?
Well, we have a banana clip.
Yeah. Control yourself. Anyway, that night, La Forge had bad night's sleep. He was tossing about all night until eventually.
Yeah. That's what he was at.
Yeah, with his banana. No, eventually he wakes up and calls O'Brien, but then he doesn't know why he called O'Brien, so he apologizes. He goes to sick bay, sensing that he feels wrong, but the doc checks him out, and aside from some slight irregularities in his visual cortex, everything looks fine. She recommends he gets his visor checked out at the next starbase.
So we know he beamed the crate out at 11:23, so this was at least 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's an emergency, so he obviously got dressed in his full uniform. He didn't just come over. And also Crusher is there, because apparently she's a really bad sleeper, that she's just always awake. Massive insomnia.
She's always there.
Like the EMH, just always on.
Yep. Like that.
Maybe she does a good attending to senior officers. I don't know.
Yeah. She's like that Monsters in Monsters, Inc. Always watching. Oh, no, that was O'Brien in the transporter room, wasn't it? Anyway,
always transporting.
I'm always transporting, yeah. So, Vaj beams aboard with Cal and some of his aides. Picard escorts them to Cargo Bay 4 to check out the ongoing investigation. On the bridge, Data finds the E-band emissions is coming from onboard the ship. Data speculates...
that profile.
Signal is coming from inside the house.
Yeah. Data speculates it's some form of covert messaging, but Riker wants facts. He wants who, what, where, when, and why.
Talk to me, Data. Tell us.
Yeah. Data investigates the waveform, and it doesn't initially correspond to any other waveform, but eventually he narrows it down with the computer's help to the message in the visual spectrum. Data now suspects Geordi, so heads to the show pod for more clues. Meanwhile,
oh my god,
Geordi's grabbing the crappiest looking little phaser I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's a Type 1.
But question number 6, what type of phaser is this? Is it a Type 1? A Type 2? A type 3 or a type 4?
Yes, Sean.
I wonder what could it be.
You know, Sean could be wrong.
There's comic timing, and then there's whatever I just did there. Anyway.
Can you just put the options in chat?
Really? You
Are you sure, Andrew? Don't answer too soon.
Yeah, well, it makes sense that there's kind of a James Bond style little concealable pistol kind of thing. Although, yeah, as a prop in HD, that's not being done any favors. Those buttons look very janky.
It's tiny as well for a Type 1 phaser. We've seen a number of different Type 1 phasers.
Not the size. Not the size.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's, as I said, it's designed to be, like a spy's. It's meant to be concealable on purpose.
I don't know if this would be a follow-up question, but the phaser rifles they had earlier, there aren't any follow-up questions about those, are there?
No.
But apparently this was the first appearance of the Type 3 phaser rifle.
Oh, was it?
Apparently so.
Oh, you've ruined it now. They all know it's not Type 3. Oh,
well, that was a phaser rifle, not like a hand
You've
phaser.
ruined the question.
It's
a different thing.
Jeez.
Yeah. Okay, so Data scans the logs on the shuttle and finds nothing. We probably want a picture of that.
Yes, we do.
How do you have a picture of nothing?
I have. Here's a picture of nothing.
Oh, don't you watch your mouth.
There you go.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Whatever he's looking at, I would like to be whatever that is laid down.
He looks through the he looks through the navigational computer for irregularities and finds nothing. Eventually scans the hull and finds evidence of stress induced by a tractor beam. Ooh. Meanwhile, Geordi's taken a turbo lift. Looks super creepy about it. He's making his way towards cargo bay. He enters the cargo bay, but gets sidetracked by O'Brien. Eventually, Data finds evidence that the isolinear chips in the shuttle pod have been replicated by a Romulan replicator. And he tries to contact La Forge to talk him down. Yeah.
That fabulous schnoz.
Not beam him into a holding cell or erect a force field around him. No, just have a chat. Fine.
After he fails to talk to La Forge, he contacts Worf to take Geordi into custody immediately. Worf questions it, but Data says, that's an order. So Worf spots Geordi on the other side of the bay, and he goes to make his way towards him, but the Klingons grab him and it turns into a bit of a scuffle. He does manage to call out La Forge's name, which makes Picard turn around and grab the phaser and shoot it into the air. Thusly.
Yeah, there's a room where you can shoot a phaser, not near the warp core.
This would be a good room to test that sort of thing out.
Also, I love the way Brent left the room and then walked straight back into the same room. Slightly redressed.
Yeah.
Stunt doubles John Novak and Eric Chambers filmed a fight sequence between Picard and La Forge apparently on a specific day, but that scene was not part of the episode. So whether this was supposed to be more of a tussle or I don't know, Picard launched himself at La Forge or whatever, but obviously it ended up just being like a quick deflection. Yeah. Not needing of a stunt sequence fight scene.
Well, it's a question of timing. When it comes down to editing it, you don't know quite how much material you need. So if you have slightly too much, you can edit it down. But if you have too little, you have to go back and reshoot, and that's expensive.
Yes, Dan.
Particularly if you have to get guest stars back.
There's going to be one more question, Dan. There's going to be a tiebreaker. There's going to be a fastest fingers first on the chat.
He's got to go though. Maybe we should just all get a point this week.
I'll tell you what. All right, right. Tiebreaker question. Extra points, whatever it is, Maz, for the first person to give me the right answer. From the last question, the answers to the last question, which of these phaser types is the odd one out? So 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's one that's definitely an odd phaser type.
Well, there's still 2 going if people haven't answered the right thing yet.
Well, Picard was only about 52 shooting this, Stu. He said 76. In fact, Will Wheaton is now older than Patrick Stewart was when he started shooting.
Yeah.
He was only 47 or something when he started. You know, he was relatively young.
Yes, yeah, my age. Yeah.
Yeah, but he did. You know, he obviously he looked older, but like just he went bald young, and that's what you do.
It happens. It happens to some of us. We look 40 when we're 20.
And then you say looking the same age for 25 years, 30 years.
That is all the questions now, Dan. You're done, mate. You're done. D, because the rest are real. That is correct. Yes.
I suppose there could be some sort of phaser cannon, but I don't think we've ever seen it in
as
canon.
far as we have in canon, there's no Type 4 phaser.
Ruth got it right first.
She did?
Oh, really?
Well, I'll let all the people that answered 4 or D, I will let you all go joint with a, as Maz said, we'll give you all wins today. You can all have wins.
I was going to say, because, I don't know if it was coming up different on yours, but on mine it says that I got it first, then Sean, then Ruth.
Yeah, if you type your own, you always you will come out first probably on your own, but it depends on your internet speed.
Yeah, also Sean came before Ruth on mine as well, but yeah, so I guess fastest fingers first doesn't really work.
Doesn't really work. So I'm going to give you all wins. Well, all those that were in for a win.
What I really love is how Stu Plum put answer C, but then he said, he can't do it quickly enough because he has 76-year-old fingers, but he was able to type 76-year-old fingers faster than putting in C.
That's great. Well, I'll let... no worries, Dan. Cheers, mate. See you later. I'll let Mazmat Bob work out the scores on that one then, and while I just finish off this act. Yes, Data comes in and he tells them how he found evidence of a Romulan kidnapping and brainwashing from the shuttle pod and the Forge, and he had been the brainwashing of La Forge. He's being controlled by E-band emissions, and these emissions are coming from somewhere nearby. Picard is surprised that they have Romulan conspirator on board. Data narrows it down to 2 possibilities. It's either Picard himself or Ambassador Kel, and a simple search of either of them should unveil a hidden transmitter.
There's no picture for this?
Okay.
No data telling us about what happened?
Oh, hang on. Yeah, there is.
Yeah, Data. Tell us, Data. Tell us what you found.
You should have been seeing that one.
Oh! He
Yeah.
looks like It looks like he's auditioning for the Count in this one.
Yeah, apologies. Yeah, that one. There you go. Kel objects to being searched as he has diplomatic immunity, but Vaj says that's okay. We will take him home and search him ourselves.
Just been revoked.
Yeah, we will then deal with it if it's found to be true. Kel quickly changes his tune and requests asylum from Picard, but Picard says he'll gladly give him asylum once he's proved innocent of his crimes. And the Klingons quickly beam themselves out of there. Geordi is then talking to Troy. He's going through a counselling session as he's having trouble dealing with the fact that his trip to Risa didn't happen. She gets him to recount what happened. His time in the shuttle pod, the music, the computer games, and Troy asks him, and when the Romulan ship decloaked, did you try to call for help? And Geordi's like, well, yes, I tried. Oh, no, wait, what? It like dawns on him that, oh, shit, there was a Romulan ship. Yeah. Troy tells him it's a good beginning, but they will need to continue their therapy sessions. And that's the end of the episode. We are done.
Yeah.
And thankfully, they discovered the security vulnerability in Geordi's visor, and they patched it so it never caused any problems again.
Never, ever again.
To be fair, they kind of use a different kind of strategy, don't they, in Generations? They kind of use it as like a video camera.
But yes and no. They knew that visor was a problem, and yet they never. Yeah.
Just left it on there. Well, I mean, they left. I mean, that's a small piece of equipment, and they left the whole data, and he's one hell of a problem on the ship too.
I mean, they knew he was abducted, and they didn't scan his visor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it Crusher's fault that he crashed? Possibly.
Yeah, you'd have thought, oh my god, he's been abducted again. Let's check his visor.
Because we know when he gets abducted, sometimes they mess with it. Or we have a spare visor that we know is good. Let's just swap it out. We have replicators. It's not that hard to make them.
I had to put in this scene that the only reason why this is so traumatizing for Geordi at the end is because that means he actually didn't get laid.
No, he just got some holodeck self-loving.
Story of Geordi's life.
Embarrassing? Can you imagine how embarrassing that would be now in hindsight if he actually went into details with Troy earlier, only to sit here and go, yeah, those details I told you about Jonik. Yeah. That'd be so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Also, there was like 4 Romulans writing like bad fan fiction, like straight into his brain, just watching him get his rocks off.
Oh my god. Oh, ew. Ah! No.
You saw on Lower Deck where they clean the hollow filters, don't you? And they're just taking like the big things out of the wall.
We know. I just remembered, I wanted to say, he's not watching, but I just wanted to say a quick Koslij Datlejaj to my cousin Rob. It is his birthday today. So, Koslij Datlejaj. Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
You try and translate jolly into Klingon.
Yeah. Yeah, we've added a couple of words to our Klingon dictionary tonight, and that is Cadlo, thank you, and I can't remember the other one.
Something kek. Pakek? Takek? Takek, I think, wasn't it?
Takek, yeah. There is, yeah, Takek. Tahqeeq. Takek. Basically,
maybe that's why I couldn't find it.
Someone
very differently.
Someone who is a lying toe rag, basically. You speak like a Takek, a liar.
Monty, could you do me a favor and put that photo up?
Which one?
Of Data when they were
Will I give you some dancing Data behind me?
No. I want that photo.
I know the one. I know the one. I know the one.
One that...
Yeah, I know. I'll give you some dancing Data. We're at the end.
So
of
that
the
one?
Yeah.
I knew when I saw his face in that one. I thought that's the one Tabby will go mad over.
Oh my god! Okay, yeah, I'm in full screen this, and we can end the night just as that in the background. Oh my lord!
He's just channeling. He's almost channeling a lore expression there, isn't he?
Yes, that is very lore.
Which is why I thought. That's why I thought you'd like that one.
Oh my god! Yeah. And I got dancing Data in the background. Can you please send me that photo?
Yeah, I can. Yep.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, right. I've added those words to our Klingon dictionary now. Goes along with Pech, beloved, and Kel, doctor, and
Majram.
Majram, good night. Patak, you're a weirdo. And right, tonight's character, who
Bigger
is
yourself.
Bigger myself. Hang on, I just got to bigger myself.
Okay.
That was bigger, Tavi.
Right, who is this?
Is that Locarno? It's not Locarno.
No.
Is it Riley or Shepard? Sorry.
No. Anybody in chat?
It's hardly Wesley.
Is it not?
It's Wesley? It doesn't look anything like Wesley. Okay, fair enough.
Sometimes that is supposed to be Wesley Crusher. It's not coming out very well.
Looks a bit too manly.
Well, I guess this is when he's come back from Starfleet Academy. So he's slightly older than the Wesley that we've seen so far.
It's like when we saw future Wesley and he was 6'2" and buff.
He's supposed to be aged. Yeah.
And like he was 5'8" and 16, and he's still 5'8". He's like, yeah, he was going to change body type.
Yeah.
I was trying to think.
Go back to the other photo.
I was guessing named cadets that were human, and I'd ran through them all. I was like, it can't be Wesley. Oh, okay.
Thank you.
He's a bit more of a lower there, really. But anyway.
Yes.
Right.
Look at his hand.
Sorry, I've got to go back to add the winners to this week's
By the
winners.
way, add in chat what your scores out of 10 are.
Oh yes, yes, good point.
Oh.
And if you haven't liked the stream yet, please feel free to like the stream.
Yeah. Ruth, yes, I kind of was, yes, because there's only so many. There's only so many named male human cadets. As I said, there was Shepard, who was in 2 episodes. He was in Paradise Lost and Valiant, and obviously Nick Locarno. And although Nick Locarno is more blondie, and as I said, Crusher, and that's about it. I can't think of any others that were named that they might have made a figure of.
Okay, so who won then in the end? Who were the joint winners?
We had 5 joint winners,
my word.
which were Sean,
right?
You,
Andrew,
right?
No, 4 winners. Sorry, Sean, Andrew, myself, and Subspace.
4 and 6.
I can do a con yell for all of those. Yeah.
Maybe 4. 'Cause there's 4 of us.
No, more like there are 4 winners. That's it.
There are 4. Yeah, so Andrew managed to gain a point, but also dropped out of joint 3rd place, unfortunately. But he's on his own now in that, because Baz got a point as well. And Subspace Chatter is now just 1 point behind Stuplum and Tavikins, who are still our joint leaders.
Dan.
With just 2 episodes to go. Next week.
All right.
And,
so Dan could steal the win, but the rest of us are out of contention.
Yes. Yeah. Dan could still steal the win. Yes.
Oh man, and I'm the weakest of those. I might get relegated to silver.
Okay, so
Well, I certainly, I can't go anywhere with it. I may as well bow out next week so as not to take any points off anyone else.
yeah, Nevin.
I didn't even think about that. I could have bowed out this week.
No, it's all right.
Well, you could maybe, for next season, award 3 points for first, 2 points for second, and 1 point for third.
Oh, yeah, could do.
Scoring.
Yeah, so it's not all or nothing, there's a bit of a league table going on.
Good idea. I like it. It's good idea. Right, so
hi Trailblazer.
All right, Trail. You all right, mate? Get your scores out of 10 for a mind's eye in chat. What do you reckon from 0 to 10? Get your scores in now. And whilst you're doing it, click the lovely like button. Fantastic.
Andrew won't be here next week because he's moving house. We'll have
congratulations, sir.
Hopefully we'll see
well
you
done.
the week after.
Enjoy, Andrew. Just going to say, we're still 3 subscribers short of 400, so if anyone hasn't subscribed...
3. We're just 3 away.
We're just 1 magic number away, so if anyone can just tip us over that edge, that would be nice.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be a good Christmas present.
Aww.
Trailblazer gives it an 8.5. Ruth gives it an 8. Andrew gives it a big old 9. A thundering 9. Are you ready, guys, with your paddles?
I'm ready to paddle.
Right, then. Let's get us on big.
That's paddling.
Right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Paddling.
Oh, I'm...
Wow, we got solid 9s. What?
Maybe it's because I just there's no mystery in it for me, and I know what's happening. I don't know. It didn't take me too well.
If you say the B word,
no, it wasn't about the show.
Don't you do it? That.
It wasn't. We although it was a reuse of the Romulan sets, there were new sets.
So, I mean, there were. We went to a Klingon outpost. We went to a Romulan warbird. We were in a shuttle for a while.
I was happy enough with that. And as I said, there was nice continuity in the Klingon bridge, as I previously mentioned, from Star Trek 4 onwards, and the previous Romulan sets rejigged, but the style kept the same. Yeah, I was very happy with all that. Just, I don't know, the story just didn't really take me. I know it's a fan favorite, but just for me, it wasn't. Yeah.
I actually forgotten. I'd forgotten how good this episode was.
See, there was but when we were watching Best of Both Worlds, I'm sure I remember you saying about like the PTSD that kind of Picard was going through and how it reminded you of this episode where Geordi is forced to do things against his will.
Oh yeah.
And it does have that sort of, best of both worldiness about, it just seems like a bigger episode than a normal episode. What with, the Romulans, the Klingons, there were some good sort of moments with Picard facing off against them. There's the mystery, there's some action, there's a bit of real kind of, ick moments where it was like, I can't think of the right word, but where sort of with Geordi, where it was really, not scary. That's not the right word. Sinister.
Yeah. And all he was doing was just stood there sometimes. Like things were going else was going on the scene, and you just have like a pullback shot on Geordi just like standing in the background, and you just be like, what is going on? And behind that voice. Yeah. And I like the fact that it is sort of like, it's a good part of the whole Klingon storyline and leading to Worf's redemption. And it's introducing the character in the dark. Who's that? Really good.
Yeah, gotta say, I did love it. It was for me, it was like best episode in quite a lot of episodes.
So
I've been like 6, 7, 6, 7, 5, 6, just really not that excited, and then this I think was way better.
What was the combined average
for audience came out at 7.8.
So that's an 8.
Yes.
So yeah, that does give us obviously the biggest episode, actually the second best episode of the season.
Actually, Stupum changed his, that made it a 7.9, still an 8.
There was lots of data in it for Tavikins, so that's always a bonus.
Well, something tells me Tavi is going to give a 10 next week.
I think you could be right.
I don't know. It depends on the episode. I'm not just a blind Data lover.
Well, as I said, Data gets kissed in Torpedo Bay, and it's not often you see that.
Okay, hold on. My brain stopped for a second. Yes. Anyway, the story.
That was a perfectly innocent sentence, Tavi. I don't know why your brain would go to a funny place.
Just kissing that man stops me. I just can't. I just woo those lips. Okay.
That's correct, Ruth. Yeah, it is exactly that episode, and we get to hear his little song that it isn't remixed into the Pogo song at all.
Oh no!
And I've quoted several times.
Oh no! What?
There is no trailer available
anywhere. Oh
no!
Oh, okay.
What?
Sha-la-la. You could also
use our imaginations.
You could play about 5 seconds of Pogo doing the sha-la-la-la. That would more or less be a trailer of this episode.
That's weird.
Sharish-la-la.
It's not even on Trek Core as a file.
Maybe you can do a cool like presenter voice, like this week on Star Trek.
Yeah.
Coming near you.
This week.
Data gets kissed
On
in
Star
the
Trek.
torpedo bay.
Yeah.
Matters of the heart strike the Enterprise.
Yeah. Data gets a girlfriend.
Is that...
I
Sorry, just keep talking amongst yourselves a minute.
I can't break the surprise on that one, but I mean, complete missed opportunity.
Yeah, fully functional. He never got his rocks off. Him and Geordi.
All of the trailers have disappeared on Trek Core now as well.
Really?
Yeah, actually, on their website, all the trailers that I download, they've all gone.
Why?
I guess CBS have, the CBS have brought down the hammer. I don't know. That's a bit annoying, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bit sad.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, unless you have the Blu-rays and you manually pull them off the Blu-rays, I think they're on them. But that sounds like a hell of a lot of effort.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be recommending that.
No.
I mean, for the Data episodes, you can put in that extra step, though. But the rest of them, I wouldn't know.
I'm just trying to find...
Anyway, shall we wrap it up?
Yeah, sorry guys, we're not going to be able to watch the trailer for the next... Oh no, I just found... Hang on a minute.
Right, Georgia, I think she's got it.
Well, I now know the format of the URL that can get the file. So I'm wondering if I just...
So if you skip back to the index...
Edit that to that. Oh, I've got it, guys.
Oh.
By actually typing in the trailer name.
Nice.
Did that work? No, that still did not work. I don't think.
Oh, no, you got us all excited.
Sorry.
Trailblazer says, stop teasing us.
Sorry. It's not working. It's just not working. I managed to get to the actual page by just typing in the URL.
You probably have to type like watch ? equals the URL.
Yeah, it's just not
or something like that.
It's just not. It's not doing it. Anyway, so the next week's episode is In Theory. I will just quickly read out the synopsis, as we don't have the trailer. And you can understand what the episode is a little bit about. So, the synopsis reads like this. In his latest attempt to understand humanity, Data accepts the affections of Jenna Desora and pursues a romantic relationship with her. In the meantime, a nebula the Enterprise is passing through is causing strange things to happen on the ship. So that's what we're talking about next week. And this is the last normal sort of episode of season 4. Before the week after, we'll be having the Redemption 2-parter big stream. Yeah. So that's it for the next 2 weeks.
Exciting.
Yeah. If you're available on Friday, don't forget to join us in the Monty Show with me and G, talking about ancient apocalypses and things. If you're fed up with the football, please come and join us and talk to us.
Oh, I was fed up before it even started. 90 minutes and you might see 3 goals. Wow.
Hey, there was like...
I know it's your national sport, but not for me.
All right.
Rugby's also nice.
No, can't stand it myself.
So thank you, Mazza Bob, for joining us. Thank you, Chief Sean and Tavikins Turner. Thank you very much. Thank you to everyone in chat. Andrew, Ruth, Trailblazer, Stuplum, thank you for coming along. Dan from Subspace Chatter, don't forget to check out his stream on Saturday, which I'm sure he's reviewing the next Star Trek Prodigy episode, which I have not yet seen yet. And
well, there's another one tomorrow, so you don't have to catch it up.
How do you watch it then?
You find a way. It's on.
Paramount Plus, isn't it?
I think it's on Amazon. It is on Paramount Plus. Yeah, actually, sorry, I'm thinking of Lower Decks. That's on Amazon Prime or something.
Yeah.
And also thank you to Mickey. Stuplum, Gujon, G
The Beard,
and Panko.
Yay, Panko.
And Guy, and
Andrew
Trailblazer.
Wow, you remembered them all.
We've
I've got them all on
tonight.
my score sheet.
I think we covered everyone. But yes, so we'll see you next Wednesday at 8:00. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.